Believe in you, believe in your dreams, believe in your own power.
Welcome to Agency for Change, a podcast from KidGlov that brings you the stories of changemakers who are actively working to improve our communities. In every episode, we'll meet with people who are making a lasting impact in the places we call home.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Agency for Change podcast. This is Lyn Wineman, President and Chief Strategist of KidGlov. Today's conversation is one that I have really been looking forward to. My guest, and I'm not going to tell you her name or her organization just yet. She leads a nonprofit dedicated to something beautifully simple and also incredibly powerful. They make sure kids have access to books that they can take home to read every single day. And this nonprofit has recently gone through an exciting rebrand that reflects both their growth and their mission. And we're going to talk about what inspired the change, why access to books matters so much, and what's next for this nonprofit. I can't wait for you to hear this story. Angie Miller, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me, Lynn. I'm so delighted to be here.
Absolutely. Angie, I always love the opportunity to talk with you. You are so passionate about your work, and I'd love to just start by talking about the organization and maybe even something kind of fun. The reason I know you so well, you have previously been known as DIBS for Kids, but you've recently announced a new brand, and KidGlov has had the chance to partner with you on that branding. Tell us the new name.
The new name is BookLoop.
BookLoop. I feel, Angie, like I should have a drum roll going, but this is a low budget podcast and I don't have any sound effects. Oh, but I love that. I have to tell you, KidGlov has worked on, I think, so close to 200 different brand projects. And this has got to be one of my favorite brand transformations. I love how well it fits the work that you do. And let's talk more about BookLoop. Tell everybody what you do and who you serve.
Sure. BookLoop serves over 7,000 Nebraska and Southwest Iowa elementary school children.
That's a
And
lot
what
of
we
kids. That's a
A
lot of
lot of
kids.
kids. A lot of
Yeah.
kids. And what we do is now in the name, we provide custom curated classroom libraries of books, easy to hard, all of which have a QR code affixed to them because we use our own custom built proprietary software that books can loop, if you will,
I love
home
that.
every single night. And then books loop again, if you will, among the classrooms. They rotate among the classrooms. So kids get access to 1,000 to 1,200 unique titles a year to read.
That's a lot of books. Like, seriously, Angie, I love, first of all, that you're using loop in that way to describe the work. It's so good. But that's a lot of books. I mean, how many books do you go through in a year? Is that even a fair question?
It's a fair question, and I
Okay.
know the answer to you. Right now, as we talk, we have about 100,000 books in our collection for the students.
100,000 books. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, one of my favorite things to do is go to bookstores and just look at books and be around books and pull them off the shelves. There's something about books that
Mhm.
are just amazing. How fun is it to shop for 100,000 books?
It's fun, but I will be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
My staff, our program director, they all really do that because they love it as well. And it's not fair. We should all enjoy
We all should
doing
enjoy
that.
our work, right?
So
Yeah.
I come in once a week and I'm like, I was at a bookstore and this looked really great. And here's this photo, and the wheels.
Yes. You're just doing research all the time. That's
Exactly.
fantastic. So why, in this day and age when it seems like we're all leaning towards the
Mhm.
digital world, we're all
Yeah.
talking about AI, kids are on their
Mhm.
phones.
Mhm.
Why is access and consistent access to
Mhm.
books so important? And why
Yeah.
is it important that kids can take them home and enjoy them
Right.
outside of the classroom?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, Lynn,
Mm,
when we talk about the tactile
yeah,
experience of reading. Like,
yeah.
not, nothing replaces the literal opening of the book. And I think we've all been there when you're the first person to open the book, you
Oh,
hear the
yeah,
crack, right? And you
yeah,
smell it. That new book smell is it's a perfect smell, right? But for kids especially, the process of learning to read, it's not a natural process for our brains. We speak as babies, 9 months, 12 months
yeah.
old. Our brains are naturally wired to be speakers, but they're not naturally wired to be readers.
Wow, I didn't know that.
We have to train ourselves to
Yeah,
read. And so having a physical book every single night not only helps with that, with read alouds and teaching children the actual cadence of our language, right?
yeah,
But also lets kids discover new worlds and new ideas and Pete the cat and it's from our perspective just extraordinarily important for children to see themselves in books, to see new ideas in books, for their families to engage with them every night.
yeah.
I think as parents, almost all of us, some of our favorite memories with our children when they were small was reading a book to them, and being able to provide that experience and that memory is just critically important to us
Mm.
here.
You're taking me back, Angie. I'm going to tell you that we had a tradition in our house. I have three children, and I used to sit in the doorway between their bedrooms and read to them at night. And they let me do this way beyond the point where they were too old for it. But we read the whole Harry Potter series out loud, and we read the whole Chronicles of Narnia series out loud. It's such a great family memory. And you just recommended to me a beautiful book. It's called The Magical Yet. And
Wonderful book.
I cherish reading that book with my 3-year-old grandson.
Mhm.
And we both use our imaginations. If anybody has read it, or if you haven't, you should read it, even as an adult, because it's really a fun book. But
Mhm.
we talk a lot about what our personal magical yets, which are the
Mhm.
characters in the book, what they look like. And it is fun to have that imaginative moment
Mhm.
together. Yeah, so thank
Yeah.
you for that. And you're doing that now for 7,000 children
Yeah.
and growing. So can
Mhm.
you walk us through how the program works? Because I have heard you talk about the curation of the books and
Mhm.
how easy it is for teachers.
Mhm.
Talk us through that a bit more.
Yeah. So what happens is here at BookLoop, we really tried very hard to pay attention to what kids love. And some of that will be very familiar to your audience. Again, Pete the Cat, like I said,
Yeah,
Elephant and Piggy, but
yeah.
even things we remember as children, Babysitter's Club,
Mm,
Sweet Valley High, Boxcar Children. And we work with almost 2 dozen publishers to purchase books that, English and Spanish and Braille and 25 other languages, depending
wow,
on.
I did not I knew you were
Mhm.
into a lot of languages, but also
Yeah.
Braille. I imagine
Mhm.
there
Yeah.
are classrooms that as you
Mhm.
get the data on the classroom, you know where the
Yep.
Braille books need to be.
Absolutely. And one of our North Stars here is that every child should have access.
Mm,
Braille books exist. We can go find those books so that child can
yeah.
also participate in bringing a book home every night. And so anyway, so we purchase all those books. Every classroom gets their own unique set of 220 books,
Wow.
right? 6 book bins and a plastic folder. And we joke here all the time, this plastic folder we think is the key to everything.
I love
The,
it.
yeah, they're brightly colored, blue, yellow, pink, and the books go in those folders to go in the backpacks. And we don't lose books frequently because we think,
The
it's barely
plastic
coming
folders.
older. Yep.
Yeah.
Every morning, a student will come in and they will check in their book on our software, put the book back, and we call it shopping for books. They'll pick out their new one. They'll go back, they'll check it out and put it in their magic plastic folder.
Yeah.
And a classroom of about 20, 25 students can, if you'll let me indulge me, loop their
Yeah.
books in about 15 minutes or so, and it just wash and
Wow.
repeat next day. Yep.
Angie, I love it. I have a daughter-in-law who is a teacher at a school that you do not serve with BookLoop. And I was explaining this to her, and she's like, oh, I just buy out of my own
Mhm.
pocket. I just buy
Yeah,
books for and usually by the end of the year, they're all gone.
gone.
Right. And I know that teachers already, they work so hard,
They
not
do.
paid the most, and then they're just buying books to give away to their classroom, right? When
Mhm.
you've got this system in place.
Mhm.
So
Right,
you
right.
talked a little bit about your footprint. You're serving schools
Mhm.
in Nebraska, in Iowa.
Mhm.
Like, how do you connect with the schools? Do they come to you? You go to them?
Mhm. Yes and yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, Omaha, Norfolk, Wayne, North Platte, Council Bluffs, and some pilots in Grand Rapids and Denver. And yes, sometimes they come to us. Sometimes, especially when we're in a larger district, we will suggest like, hey, we know that there's a school who could potentially use something like BookLoop. And that's, historically how we've grown. And it's a snowball effect, right? As we grow,
Yeah.
it gets larger and there you go. And then people like you talk to someone and
Yeah, that's right. I
all
talk
starts all over
about
again.
I talk about BookLoop all the time because I
Yeah.
think you do amazing work. And obviously, I'm a big believer in the power of books. And Angie, I know that you and your team have been working really hard.
Mhm.
And I know you were honored recently with a prestigious award.
Yeah.
And I may be saying this wrong, so please correct me, but I believe it's the Jane Geske Award from the Nebraska Center for the Book. And I know you're in good company because
Mhm.
other large and well-known organizations have won. Tell me more
Mhm.
about it and what it means.
Yeah, it's like you said, other organizations have been awarded the Jane Geske Award, and it's incredibly humbling and an honor. The Nebraska Center for the Book, which is the Library of Congress's outpost, if you will, in Nebraska, every state has one, has the Jane Geske Award. It honors the long time director of the Nebraska Library Association, and it's awarded to organizations that businesses or nonprofits or libraries that have made an exceptional and long-lasting contribution to books, literacy, reading in the state of Nebraska. And it truly was something that is, like I said, very humbling to be recognized for our work.
Yeah.
We try really hard to quietly go about our day. We're Midwesterners, right? And
Right. We don't like to shout from the
we
rooftops. We put our
don't
head down and do the work, right?
do that work.
Yeah.
And I will say, when that award was being presented to us, the presenter talked about how our work was transformational in the space of book access. And that's genuinely the first time I'd heard that word. I'd heard that
Transformational.
relational
Yeah.
use. And it just it just struck me. And it was something that I never had thought about our work in that way, but it was really wonderful to hear that from someone to say that.
I love it. Well, I believe it. I believe it so much. I mean, one of the things I've even heard you say, I mean, it's not even just about the access to books and making
Mm.
it easy for teachers, but
Yeah.
and not just about even finding the right books for the classroom based
Mm.
on the data and the makeup of the kids, and you're watching what they check out and
Mhm.
what they might need more of and what they're interested in, but you insist on a high standard too of new
Mhm.
books. You
We do.
don't you're not collecting old books and putting old books in the
Mhm.
classrooms. all new books, right?
It's
And
all new books. Yeah. And why, right?
right.
Well, for a few reasons. One, all kids, irrespective of their zip code or their school, deserve access to new books and things that are books that are interesting to them. So that means when K-pop Demon Hunters is released here at the end of the month,
Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters is going to suddenly start appearing in our collection. And you may say, well, that's just pop culture, and is that really literature, and is that really reading? Yes. Yes, it is, because that's the gateway to that particular child who that's the thing that they are interested in. And then that will transform to I'm now interested in, what's in Japan, which then will transform into I'm interested in foods. And so it's always finding the one thing to reach that
Yeah.
child. So, and the other reason we put new books in, to be completely honest with you, Lynn, is it's a lot easier for us to purchase new books. We
Mm.
purchase so many,
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of books a year that it allows us to really exercise a lot of purchasing power to
Right.
provide for schools and teachers, so they don't necessarily have to buy, a book at garage sales or
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it just says something to the kids too about
You matter.
right, the importance of reading and the
Mhm.
importance of them as individuals,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yeah.
we're not giving you someone's old book.
Mm-mm.
We've got
This is
new books just for you in your
you.
classroom too. I
Yeah.
love that so much. Angie, you are so passionate about this work and you and your team do such a lovely job. I'm really curious, how did you find yourself in this position, right?
Yeah.
Like, I
Right.
can't
Well,
imagine a career counselor looking or talking with high school Angie going, I think you should be the executive director
mm,
of a nonprofit that puts books and checkout systems in schools.
you would be correct about that. The high school guidance counselor told me I should attend law school,
Oh,
which
well, and you're a
I'm
very, very smart person, right? Yes.
I did attend law school,
Mm-hmm.
in fact. No, so to answer your question seriously, I went to Creighton for undergrad, and along the way picked up a master's degree and a law degree, and I had a moment, and I know the exact moment it happened.
Really?
I did.
Wow.
I was on the tarmac at Midway Airport 3 days before Christmas,
Mm,
flying home, and snowy. It was cold. It was
yeah.
dark,
Yeah.
and what am I doing with my life?
Mm,
And that doesn't negate the amazing work that lawyers and attorneys do. They do great work every day, all day.
right.
But for me, I knew there had to be something else out there. So I started transitioning into the nonprofit space.
Yeah.
And honestly, Lynn, BookLoop was luck. It was luck.
Mm,
But part of that luck was knowing what I believed in, knowing what my North Star was. It was kids and education and access and lifelong opportunities. And it, for me, has just been the joy of my career to be
mm.
here.
That is wonderful. I love hearing that. And
Yeah.
because this is a podcast, most people are listening while they're driving and
Mhm.
doing their chores and all the things we do while we listen to podcasts. But
Mhm.
for me, I'm going to tell the listeners, I get to see you because we're on Zoom and I
Mhm.
see the pure joy in your face.
Yeah.
So well done, Angie. All right, I want to bring this full circle because we talked in the beginning about how KidGlov is really honored to help with your rebrand. Can you tell us what the new BookLoop brand represents to the organization as you move forward?
Well, I have to give incredible shout out of joy to your team at
Mm.
KidGlov. And I'm not just saying that because we happen to be talking today.
Yeah.
Your team took our vision of an organization that is infused with joy and opportunity and access, and translated it into this brand that I think represents 100% of who we are. And it's vibrant and colorful without being childish.
Yeah.
And a brand that for us says we've worked so hard in building a program and iterating this program that's won awards and serves thousands of kids. And now it's time for the world to know about us a little bit more and understand
Yeah.
what we do. And I remember when we had the meeting where you showed us the new logo, I remember just tearing up and
Oh,
almost crying because it was like, this is everything I didn't even have the capacity to imagine. And to see a book and all of that represented in a way that is so true to who we are, but cuts across languages and identities and cultures. It's just so,
mm.
so beautiful.
You've made my day. You and your team and your board were such a joy for us to work with because you threw yourself into the process, the brand
Mm-hmm.
advancement process and all
Yeah.
the steps. And you know what we know about that process is that when we follow it, when we go through the
Mm-hmm.
steps, we not only have what we need to do the branding, but you have what you need to know we
Mm-hmm.
are on the right path. And that makes a great formula. And I'm so excited for the brand. I'm so excited for the new website, which I'm going
Yeah.
to ask you if people want to see the brand or learn more about the program, where can they find you at this new
Yeah.
website?
You can find us at BookLoop dash loop LOOP.org is where you will find all of the amazing work the KidGlov team has done to build a beautiful
Uh,
website.
Thank you for that. But also all the amazing work you're
Yeah.
doing for kids in schools. So book-loop.org. We will have
Mhm.
that link in the show notes. Angie,
Mhm.
thank you for that. And once again, such a pleasure to work with you. So now that you have the new brand
Mhm.
and you're moving forward, I'm really curious, what advice do you have for other nonprofit leaders who are navigating change while they're staying true to their mission?
Well, I think the question has the answer,
Yeah.
which is know what your mission is and
Mm,
what do you do and who do you do it for and why do you do it? That if that stays at the center of your decision making of the crux and or the lens or the North Star, whatever word you'd like to use there, the rest of it I think falls into place, if you will.
yeah.
And change can be hard, it can
Mm,
be unknown, it can be uncertain. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad,
yeah.
but if you say, like in our case, our mission is to give children access to books every single day to read. How do we effectuate that? We
Yeah.
can navigate change.
That's great. I think for me, the only thing scarier than change is to have the world's change around you
You.
and you get passed up, right? And
Mhm.
that sometimes people don't realize that impacts nonprofits
Yes,
as much as it impacts for-profits.
absolutely.
It's an important part of the world. Well, Angie, what's on the horizon for Book Loop? What's
Yeah,
next? You've been very busy.
very busy. Hopefully, I'm taking a sabbatical, but
I like
yeah,
that. Well
yeah,
deserved. I will
but yeah,
advocate for
no.
you.
But no, next for a book loop is we will work on our 2026 summer program. We call it our mail-based program. We literally mail books back and forth all summer to
Wow.
children.
Yeah.
They become our pen pals. Because there's written literally old school letters written
Wow.
back
They
and
write
forth.
you a letter and you send them a book and then they send it back and you
And we
send them
write them.
another one. Oh, I
Yep.
love that. That
Mhm.
sounds like, though, probably a lot of work, a heavy lift for your staff managing that.
We all end up with pen pals though,
Okay.
so
All right.
even I'm like
Give me this
I,
one. Yeah.
I will take the child who hates dinosaurs. Challenge accepted. But that's, and we're already planning for the, 26, 27 school year and what that looks like. We know we'll already add some more schools to who we're serving, and we're starting to iterate preschool. What can book access
Wow.
look like in a preschool with an emphasis on reading aloud and parental data engagement daily with literacy and reading.
That's awesome. I love it, Angie. So, Angie, I want to ask you my favorite question next, and it has nothing to do with BookLoop, or it could, depending on how you
Okay.
take the answer, right? Every single episode of Agency for Change, I have asked our wonderful guests to give me an original quote
Mhm.
to inspire our listeners. So I've been very curious thinking about this all day. What will Angie Miller's quote
Wow.
be?
Here's the quote that I have come up with. Believe in you, believe in your dreams, believe in your own power.
Mm,
And admittedly, some of that's borrowed from Eleanor Roosevelt. She has this famous quotation, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams.
I love it.
Yeah, some of that's influenced by, my own journey. I really do believe that if you know who you are, you know what your dreams are, there's beauty, there's power, there's purpose there, and we just need to find the time and the bravery to tap
Hmm.
into that.
I love it. I love that you added power to that quote too, because I
Yeah.
think that often we have more power in a situation than we even realize. Even just the power of how you frame it up in your own
Mhm.
mind. You can look at this
Mhm.
as a problem. You could look at this as a challenge. You could look at this as an opportunity. And I think of Angie Miller on the tarmac in the snow, Midway
Mhm.
Airport. Boy,
Yeah.
I get that feeling when you tell me that story and how like lonely and cold that must have
Mhm.
felt, and
Yes.
how scary it must have been to say, I just paid for law school with my time, with my hard work, with my money, and now I'm going to do something different. But
Yes.
look at what an
Mhm.
impact you and your
Yeah.
team are making, and I really love
Oh,
that.
thank you. Thank you. It's truly, like I said, been the honor of my career
Mm,
to lead such an incredible organization with incredible people and incredible families and students and teachers. And
that makes it
I
great.
really, really
That's
humbling.
I love it. Angie, as we wrap up this conversation, because I feel like I could talk to you all day, I want to know,
Likewise.
yeah, right? I want to know, what is the most important thing you would like our listeners to remember about the work that you're doing at BookLoop?
That books matter, that access to books matters, that when we talk about reading and literacy, there's joy matters.
Mm,
We don't create and foster and build readers unless we provide them something to read that kids want to read.
yeah,
And that I think is the key to BookLoop.
I love it. Angie, that's beautiful. I fully believe the world needs more people like you, more organizations like BookLoop. Thank you for the work that you're doing and for taking some time out for us today.
Thank you for taking time out and really appreciate it.
We hope you enjoyed today's Agency for Change podcast. To hear all our interviews with those who are making a positive change in our communities, or to nominate a changemaker you'd love to hear from, visit KidGlov.com at KIDGLOV.com to get in touch. As always, if you like what you've heard today, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.